Hi everyone, welcome to the next episode of the BECBC Shadowboard podcast. This is one of our awards episodes. This time I'm joined by Ursula from Morgan Sindall, who won the Environment Award. So do you want to introduce yourself, tell us a little bit about what Morgan Sindall is?
I'm Ursula Jordan. I'm Senior Communications Officer for the Morgan Sindall Infrastructure Nuclear business. So within Morgan Sindall Infrastructure, by our boilerplate, we are a civils contractor who supports the UK's most complex and critical infrastructure. But what we really do is we deliver change, especially within our nuclear business. The infrastructure business is made up of 6 core sectors. So we work across energy, water, highways, rail, aviation, and nuclear. And we work for public and private customers. What we do deliver infrastructure products, but we do also deliver community support. We enhance communities, not only coming in and spending lots of money, but we understand the markets that we work in. So we do a lot of research before we come in to a local area to work. We innovate and we engineer. So we challenge the status quo. And we work with our supply chain. And it was only last week we held our first supply chain event, which brought together all our local supply chain to recognise and collaborate with them. But we also care about the work that we're doing to improve the environment, which is what I think you may ask more about.
Yeah. So that segues right into how or why did you win the Environment Award?
Well, firstly, we wanted to apply for it because we've made massive step changes in our sort of work to improving the environment recently. So we're on the road to net zero. It's set up as a goal from our Morgan Sindall group. So it's net zero by 2030. But within our nuclear business, we wanted to set our goal slightly smaller so that we can see what's coming up. So we're on 25 by 25. So that's a reduction of 25% in CO2 by 2025. And then we will look at the 20 by 30, which we will obviously have to reach. But we're already achieving stuff. So we've been recognised for our carbon reduction by Achilles, and this is in accordance with iOS 14064-1. I'm not going to say all the other numbers on there. But this is the commitment to managing and reducing our emissions in respect to our operational activities. And you'll probably appreciate that within the work that we do require a lot of materials to deliver our work safely. So what we were doing with the work and what was in our award submission is all the extra bits we can do to offset our carbon. So we've had stuff, really small stuff, like just making sure all of our projects, from changing light bulbs from iridium to LED, just makes massive differences. And then we've got our bigger bits where we're ensuring that we're procuring electric vehicles as opposed to fossil fuel vehicles, or ethically procuring HVO. So all of our plant on one of our sites is HVO run now, and we were the first contractor to bring in HVO. We've got stuff like our green car policy, so no longer can people have a petrol or diesel vehicle. They have to have either hybrid or electric.
Right.
And bringing in those sort of policies can come with challenges as well, because you need the infrastructure there to support, whether it's charging of the vehicles. And you might know yourself, but in West Cumbria, there's not a massive amount of charging facilities. So we've had to work with local stakeholders to ensure that actually, if we're getting all of our employees to take up company car policies with electric cars or a hybrid, they can actually charge them. So we've got probably one of the largest sort of charging points at our Robinson House office on the Westlake Science Park, which was I think earlier this year that was launched. So we've got 20 charging points there, and then we also have charging points at our site locations as well. Mm-hmm. And then we've got wider things where, as a group, we are working with the Blenheim Estate in Oxfordshire to create 9 new woodlands, which not only will offset a huge amount of carbon, it actually creates areas for the local community to explore and get involved in making a difference there. So all of those parts, they're only a really high level overview of them, but all of those were within our submission.
So obviously that's quite a lot of stuff, and I think I like the thing of setting a smaller goal. Well, not that it's a small goal, but a smaller goal of 25 by 25. Do you have any sort of, because obviously a lot of companies will be looking to either go net zero, reduce their carbon footprint, or move to more sustainable ways in doing business, particularly in the construction industry and nuclear industry and stuff. So have you got any sort of, how have you found it challenging to implement those things at a local level? So finding things like your electric car policy, has that been quite accepted by employees? You know, has it been difficult to do in terms of that, or have actually you found that people think it's the right thing to do and have accepted sort of those changes?
Yeah, well, I can't speak for every employee in the business, but I think everyone knows that we need to make a change, and these are all small steps.
Yeah.
I think more of the challenges have been around the manufacturing of cars, as probably a lot of the world know, in terms of there's been quite a big delay in that. So it's a big shift change, not only from petrol and diesel cars, but actually then moving over to hybrid and electric, and people becoming accepting of that. But in terms of how we've implemented it across the business, our environmental team would always be happy to share some of the feedback if anyone wants to find out some learning. And what we really want to do is to share what we've done so far and share our learning. So if anyone wants to get in contact with our environmental team, they'll be happy to share with you our findings and what we've done to date.
So again, that leads on to, if that's all been very good, and it shows obviously why you won the environmental award of all the different changes that Morgan's infrastructure are doing. So how would people get in touch? Where would you point them to?
The best first step is probably through our website, and then hopefully that will then feed down into our business unit, and then we can pass it on to our environmental team.
Okay, great. Right, I think that gives a really good overview of what Morgan Sindall does. And some of the changes you've been making to win that award. So thank you very much for your time, Ursula.
No worries, thank you.
Thank you.